Listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your website, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you in your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Folks, well, it's Friday night. That's right. We finally made it. We've made it through the work week. It's almost time for the weekend. Now you just got to get through us two jabronis talking about politics. Can we change the show theme till November 9th and just kind of? I mean, is there any way we could do cat memes on the radio? I mean, would that work? Could we find a way to make that happen? I'm just asking.
Yes.
It's just, dude. I mean, literally,
we need a green screen. We need a green screen and a nice desk and a big visual behind us, and we can just sit there and post everybody's favorite cat gifs all night long. It'd be fantastic.
Dude, we have got to find a way to make that happen. Dude, seriously, at this point, I'm not even necessarily kidding. I have, close family members that I'm starting to get into Trumpkin arguments with. I mean, cousins that I have grown up with. And, I mean, we're talking, spent every single summer with, almost every single family holiday. And we're all over social media, and she's like, well, you don't understand, because Trump's the only one that can save us at this point, because she's completely evil. And I'm like, have you been watching a third of the things that have come out about this guy in the last 9 months? Just a third of them. Let's assume that 2/3 of what's coming out about him is utterly false. That still leaves a third of some of the most terrible, inane things I've ever heard. Now, granted, she's not any better, and I'm not trying to tell anybody that she is. But to think that we're going to be able to fight one brand of evil with our own equally detestable brand of evil is completely inane logic to me, and I don't understand why people seem to think this is going to work. I don't get it.
Right. So we're gonna keep a sex offender out of the East Wing by putting a sex offender into the West Wing.
But Dan, you know all that stuff's made up, right? I mean, come on. All this stuff's coming out 4 weeks before the election, man. I mean, come on. If they were gonna talk about all this sexual assault stuff, man, why weren't they doing it before now? Why did it have to be 4 weeks before the election, before all of these ladies started climbing out of the woodwork? Let me tell you why. Folks like Lou Dobbs, who decided to dox someone for standing up and saying, hey, Donald Trump really did do this stuff to me. Oh, look, folks, here's her address to 12 million followers. Fun times, fun times.
And phone number, by the way. And phone number. Yes, 800,000 followers. He posted her address and phone number. If you and I did that, dude, we would have been suspended from Twitter already.
Suspended? We would have been. They'd have been like, "Yeah, you're done. You're not.
You're done. We have your IP address. You're never going to have an account on here again."
Well, I mean, IP bans are easy to get around, but I won't.
Yes.
I won't share with the audience, just cause. But yeah. So anyway, I mean, I really just don't get it because I mean, and look, I'm not saying this about anyone in particular, but. And I don't want anybody to think that I am, so I'm going to reiterate this again. I'm not saying this about any one particular person or any group of people that may or may not know me in real life or be associated with me in social media. But what I am saying is all of you that in 1998 jumped on the Let's Crucify Bill Clinton bandwagon because he actually committed consensual sexual acts in the White House and then lied about them, and then all of a sudden all these other stories started coming out that nobody knew anything about, and all of a sudden everybody started glomming onto those, and they're like, oh, well, look what he did back when he was governor in Arkansas. Look what Hillary helped him cover up here. And everybody was all over those things, no second thought if you were a conservative or a Republican. Back in 1998, it was, oh my God, Bill Clinton's evil. He raped people. He did this. He did that. He lied to the Senate. But now that the shoe's on the other foot, and all of a sudden there are all of these women coming out, and they're saying, look, this is honestly what happened. Donald Trump really did these things to me. All of you guys sound exactly like the Democrats did in 1998, and they still sound like that today, mind you, because I have actually been in more arguments about that because I'm still trying to call it down the middle. And I'm telling everybody, look, if you were all over Bill Clinton and now you're excusing Donald Trump, you're a hypocrite. And before today...
Exactly. And you know who some of those hypocrites are? People like Franklin Graham. Really? Really? Now the evangelicals are going to say that grabbing somebody by the is okay? That's fine? That's not a problem?
Yeah,
we're in bizarro world. We are completely and totally in Bizarro world. Sorry, I'm a geek.
Oh, no, I got the reference. That's okay.
Comic books and stuff. We are in Bizarro world.
For anybody who didn't get the reference, that's actually a DC Comics reference.
Yeah, we're to explain it, we're in opposite world. We have entered opposite world where the supposed evangelical Christians are saying, just to win an election, they're saying it's okay to sexually assault a woman. It's okay because it's not sexual assault. It's not. It's not. We're back to 50s grab ass. That's what we're back to. That's that, and everything's okay. It's cool. So first wave feminism, which was cool, is now gone, and both sides have destroyed it.
No, I mean exactly, and yeah, I keep coming back to these same things, and you're mentioning folks like, well, I mean, a lot of the evangelical pastors that are all of a sudden all over Donald Trump, and they're like, oh, he's a great guy. I mean, Jen and I played audio. Actually, hang on, I think I still may have that audio here. Let's let these folks hear it. No, actually, I don't. Dang. I didn't actually save it to the soundboard. I was just pulling it straight from YouTube, and I don't have it. But anyway, so on Tuesday night show with Jen, because we didn't do radio Thursday night, or last night because of homecoming. But anyway, so I played audio from Pat Robertson, who basically excused the audio of Donald Trump, the supposed quote-unquote talking head media spin locker room talk, because it was just him being macho. Now, let's not forget the reactions to folks like Pat Robertson during the Clinton administration when stories like this first started coming out. My issue with all of this is and please bear with me because I'm going to sound a little preachy for a second, but it reminds me of exactly the same position that the Pharisees were in during the times of Jesus, because they were so busy making sure they held their allegiance to Rome, they weren't paying attention to what was right in front of them. And the same thing is happening now. These people are so busy trying to hold their allegiance to the party that has helped fund them and build them up to who they are, whether they want to admit it or not, that they're not paying attention to what is right in front of them. Look, I'm not saying that 100% of these accusations are true. I don't know. Only the women that are coming forward know this. But if even one out of those accusations is even possibly true, then he does not deserve to be in the White House. If anything that Hillary Clinton has done is remotely true, then she doesn't deserve to be in the White House. The fact that we are seriously playing the Russian roulette version of lesser of two evils at this point makes me sick, because no matter which one of these two idiots gets in the White House, one of two things is going to happen. They're either going to be blackmailed into doing something stupid, because whatever we know, I guarantee you there's a million times things worse that we don't. Or we're going to wind up glowing in the dark in the next 6 to 9 months, and there's not going to be anything anybody's going to be able to do about it. And if you don't believe me, look at the noise that Putin is making today. He's already calling for people that are of Russian citizenship to come home, to pull their children's students from other schools in other countries and to bring them home. He's actually trying to tell the American people, if you don't vote for Donald Trump, there's going to be a nuclear war. Since when do we take our political advice from frickin' Russia? And why is everybody so willing to listen to him now?
Exactly. And, you know, to stay on the topic of what we were just talking about, and I would love to give credit, and I can't think of the guy's name and account, but there was a tweet today that said, if you picked the headline, the GOP frontrunner gets a gay, what was it? A gay pimp pedophile to discredit his sexual deviancy. 2016 is a good year for you. That's where we are right now. That's where we are in this election. This election is all about who can absolutely defend themselves against the horrible crap they've done the best. That's what this election is about. Why in the world are we picking a president who has to defend themselves against the horrible crap they've done to win? It's supposed to be the person that says they can get the great things done that we need. But it's all about defending themselves against the horrible crap. We've got WikiLeaks, who is Russian-backed, going after Hillary. And to be honest with you, they haven't been too kind to Trump, though the Trump supporters think that they have. If you read some of the stuff, you're like, well, yeah. So Hillary really wanted Donald to run against her so she could win. That's not very promising. This whole election cycle is the worst thing I've possibly ever seen in my entire life, and I've seen some bad crap.
No, I mean, it's absolutely positively terrifying. This is where we are. To think that we have gone from a country that used to hold up people of principle and try to make them our leaders so that we would have people that we would want our children to emulate, to now thinking of the fact that that either one of these two people is going to become a role model to our children. This infuriates me because, and this is why, because does anybody remember when all the stories first started coming out about Bill Clinton and you had the talking heads back then like Rush Limbaugh talking about, oh my God, now there's going to be a whole generation of teenage children that don't think that oral sex is sex, and look at all the things that are going to happen on the school buses, etc. The scary thing is, as crazy as he was and as weird as he sounded, he was right. Do you know what happened between about 1998 to 2008? Because I do, because I had children that were starting to go to school around those ages. And I kept hearing all the stories about the little girl and little boy that got suspended from the back of the school bus because they were doing things they shouldn't do. And when they talked to the teacher, well, it's not sex, right? So now we've gone from this to having that position.
But
go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry. But now Rush is defending it. Now he's defending it.
No, exactly. And that's the point that I was about to make. Now we've gone from Rush Limbaugh actually being right, which honestly, even for him, doesn't happen nearly as much as it used to be, to actually having a position where now he has to defend the exact same thing that he decried all the way back in 1998. Because we now I actually got some messages from some people through social media. When you and I first started talking about this on social media and all the tweets started taking off, I was getting DMs from people that are like, look, I know that you guys don't think this is a big deal or what you're doing is a big deal or what you're saying is a big deal, but I literally have a daughter who's afraid to go to school now because she has a lot of boys in her class that are Trump supporters and Trump fans, and she doesn't know what they're going to do because all of these stories are coming out about all these crazy things that he's done, and she's afraid to go to school because she's afraid that they're gonna emulate him. And I honestly I can't blame.
I have a 15-year-old daughter, and talking to her, she's, man, I mean, she picks things up here and there, and she's definitely not a conservative by any means. But I will tell you, listening to her, she's smart. She says the same things. She's like, Dad, this guy is literally making it okay for guys to think that they can just come at me. This is my 15-year-old daughter. And what am I supposed to say to that? I mean, I tell her, I told her, I said, yeah, you're right. What else am I supposed to say? Just let me know if anybody does anything. That's what I say to her. I mean, what am I supposed to do? I mean, it's ridiculous. Everything is ridiculous. Yeah, Hillary's ridiculous. Trump is ridiculous. They're both ridiculous. And one of the two is going to be president of the United States.
And either way, we lose. That's the part that I'm trying to make everybody understand, because they're still looking at this as a lesser of two evils argument. This is not a lesser of two evil scenario. This is a pick your poison scenario. Because look, even if you agree with one person's policy slightly more than the other, even if you think that one of them will be slightly more level-headed than the other, the simple fact of the matter is if you listen to their actual policy positions, they are going to put the final blows in spinning us into oblivion. The only difference is each of them is going to do it in a slightly different way, but we're still going to be spent into oblivion because we're nearing the tipping point now. And when you have a conservative frontrunner for president who's now the nominee start talking about free child care tax credits and paid family leave, look, I understand that these things are important. I really do. But we need to worry about those type of things when we get our house back in order because we can't afford to pay for those things right now. That would be like me telling my wife, hey, we're going to take a $12,000 trip around the world, but we only have $500 in the bank. That's not going to work. We need to get our own fiscal house in order first, figure out how to get things back on track. And let me tell you something, tariffs like Trump is proposing is not going to be how it gets done. Building a wall is not going to be how it's going to get done. Those are going to cripple our economy, not help spur it along. There are ways to bring us back from the brink, but nobody wants to take the time and do those things because we're too busy looking for the quick band-aids or the feel-good movements or feel-good moments for our constituency. And that's what I keep finding even more and more with the left anymore, with all of these people that have these little warm, fuzzy, feel-good moments over climate change. Because one of the leftists will say, well, climate change is important because we're going to run out of polar ice caps. Isn't that the same thing Al Gore said? And weren't they pretty much supposed to be gone by now? Because last I checked, they were actually having to break out ice trawlers again. So I'm thinking somebody's math's a little off for one. We need to move away from the emotion politics. That's the problem. We have this 24-hour, 7-day-a-week news cycle that is all emotion-driven now. It's not about fact. It's not about truth. It's about how can we make the listeners, the readers, and the viewers feel. Now, look, everybody that does this, even for the little bit that we do it for, is still doing that to a point, but that's only to try to hold your attention. We're not going to try to steer the narrative for you. We're not going to try to give you warm, tingly feelings. We're going to basically tell you exactly how we feel about it, explain to you why we feel that way, and then let you make your own decision. But the simple fact of the matter is neither Dan nor I are even pretending to be news people. We're commentary guys. We see crazy stuff going on in the world, we talk about it. That's how we make our money. That's how we make, some of us make real money, some of us make money on the side. Who knows? Eventually maybe we'll all make real money at it. But the point about it is regardless of what it is that we're trying to do, the simple fact of the matter is there has to come a time when you have to determine what's more important, your bottom line or the truth. We have too many news, supposed, quote unquote, you can't see them because they're air quotes and I don't have the webcam running, but we have news organizations that are focusing on the wrong thing because there is still such a thing as the truth. Nobody gives us the truth anymore. They give us ratings. I want the truth. I don't care which one of them comes out worse. I want to know which one of them is worse. I want to actually know facts about who's done what, when they did it, how they did it, so that we can actually make a decision based on facts, not emotions. Because if you take all of the emotions and you boil those away and you look at the balance sheets for both Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, what you will find is two morally bankrupt individuals who are doing nothing but chasing power. That's it. If you take everything else away, that is who they are at their core. And neither one of them deserve to be president of the United States, and I don't care who tells me I'm wrong.
No, you're right. And you know what I'm really sick of? Okay. Fox News Channel. That's the name of the network. Fox News Channel. CNN. Cable News Network. I am so sick of people like Sean Hannity, Bill O'Reilly, it's just all of them. I'm sick of them saying, we're not news people, we're commentators. You know what? Then start the Fox commentary. If you're going to call yourself the Fox News Network, you're news. I get up every morning and for fodder just to go out and maybe tweet some stuff or post something on Facebook, I turn on Fox and Friends. That's supposed to be a news show. They are supposed to be news people. They are not. They are not news people. We do not have news people anymore. It's over. I mean, there are some people on Fox, like Brett Baer when he's not filling in for O'Reilly, and Brit Hume that do news. But there's very few actual news people, so where do we get our news? I mean, to be honest with you, a year and a half ago, I watched Al Jazeera America all the time. Because you know what? For a while there, they were actually news. I turned it on and it was just news. It was unbiased news. It was just people reporting on what was going on in the world. Now they're gone because they got big heads and started doing the same thing Fox did, which was very unpopular here. But I want news. I want a news outlet. There are no more news outlets anymore. It's all heads, and we don't have news anymore. I just want to see the news. I want to go somewhere and see the news. So I just go to the internet because I can find news on the internet. You can't find it on TV anymore.
You know, it's interesting that you bring up from things from like a year and a half ago, because I'll tell you, one of the places I used to get a lot of my news, probably a little closer to about 2 years ago, and actually all the way up until about 2 years ago, anytime I was doing show prep and I was in a pinch, like, cause back then I was doing shows on usually, when I first started it was, Tuesday morning, Thursday morning, and Saturday morning, cause that corresponded to a lot of my work schedule. So I would do the Finding Common Ground show with the original host, and we would do that usually Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and then I would do the America Off the Rails show when I finished with the Finding Common Ground show. But back then, if I couldn't find any decent things to talk about any other place, I could go to Drudge and actually had the ability to go through and pick out multiple sources on the same story, all from one website. And within the last 2 years, that's completely changed for them too. And I think, unfortunately, I'm starting to see a pattern. The more money these type of places start making, the more dependent they become on the money, so the more they skew things to make sure that they keep getting the ratings they need to be able to keep the money. And I just want to say this on air today. If we ever get to the point where we're making really good money at this, and I start skewing things in a particular direction just to try to make sure we hang on to the money, somebody shoot me.
Absolutely. I mean, you brought up Drudge. I mean, Breitbart was always a go-to for me. It's 100% just Trump now. I mean, I know where the morals went in Breitbart. Andrew died. I mean, Breitbart would be a fantastic site right now if Andrew was still alive. It would be fantastic. And they've run it into the ground. It's done. November 9th, Breitbart is done. Breitbart is gone unless they get some new membership in there or new management in there to revamp it. It's done. It's horrible. Dude. I can't believe what happened to Breitbart.
Bannon will be right back in there as of November 9th, dude, because as soon as he figures out he's not going to the White House, he'll be back at Breitbart going, "We'll work for holding up the "We'll work for food" sign outside the building."
It's just sad where we're at right now. I mean, I crave news. I go online and I look for, I pay attention a lot to what's going on in the Middle East, and I follow and I look at a lot of Israeli news sites, and I look at a lot of Arab news sites, and I get news from them. I mean, even if you don't don't, boy, the alt-right would love me. Some of the Arab news sites really just give news. It's just news. It's reporting on actual events. You go on there and you see, okay, this event happened. It's not a biased report. This is what happened. This bombing happened here, and this is why it happened. It's not a pro-ISIS or pro-anything. It's just news. It's sad when I have to go over to the Middle East to find news. It's really sad because I can't get news here because it's all biased. It's biased one way or the other. It's all biased. It drives me crazy.
Sorry, we actually, I've been monitoring Twitter a bit more because Amy's been tweeting back and forth. We actually have a chatter from the Spreaker chat room. Donna actually put in the Spreaker chat room, GOP can stop pretending Trump is a fart in a small waiting room after the 9th.
I love Donna.
I was like, holy cow, really? For a second, I was like, wait a minute. What? So I had to read. That's why it took me a second. I had to read it twice. But anyway, and sadly, Donna, I'm pretty sure you're probably right. I mean, look, and let's face it. Even if he gets in, nothing's going to change. He's going to be just as much an Obama clone as Hillary is. I mean, come on. Just a few months before a year before he decided to run, he was praising them both publicly. Donating money to Democratic causes, donating money to Hillary Clinton, donating money pretty much anywhere that he could to keep his tentacles in Washington. So everybody wants to tell me that because he's not a career politician, he's going to actually be able to go in and clean up Washington. Let me explain something to you. And with the circles this man runs in, if he actually tried to do anything to change any of the crap that we complain about on a daily basis in Washington, he would be run out on a rail. Because do you think he's the only one that knows how to work the tax codes in such a way that he can write off $1 billion loss and not pay any income taxes for 13 years? Because I promise you, he's not the only one. And they're not going to let him fix it, because if he tries, it's going to be Kennedy all over again. And no, I'm not calling for somebody to shoot him, so don't even try to go there. I'm telling you exactly what's going to happen, though. Because remember, when Kennedy finally started ruffling feathers, it was when he finally told everybody, look, there are things that I know that you don't know, and I'm going to make sure before I leave that you know the answers to some of the things that I know. Within weeks of him making that statement, actually, I don't even think it was weeks, he was shot dead. There have been things going on in this country and in this government that nobody talks about for decades. And one of the things that we've not talked about is the fact that really, when it comes right down to it, the right and the left are the same animal. All they're doing is finding ways to keep us occupied, keep us agitated, keep us fighting with each other so they can find ways to hold on to their power. And it all goes back to the same thing that we were talking about in this WikiLeaks stuff, because, everybody's like, oh my God, they're not talking about WikiLeaks. They're not talking about all the things that are coming out about Hillary. Okay, well, let me talk to you about something about WikiLeaks. Why does WikiLeaks say that Hillary wanted Trump to be the nominee? That doesn't matter. Why are they not talking about the other things on WikiLeaks? So you're mad because nobody's talking about WikiLeaks, but when I try to talk to you about WikiLeaks, you tell me the one I want to talk to you about doesn't matter. Why does it not matter? Because it doesn't fit your narrative. The simple fact of the matter is we are being played. No more evident ever in my lifetime than in this election cycle, because there is no way anyone can tell me that Trump was not a plant. Because all the way back to the news breaking that he contacted Bill Clinton by phone before he made his announcement cemented to me that something was crazy. I still wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I tried it for about 3 weeks, and I couldn't do it.
Nope, you're preaching to the choir there. The whole, number one, WikiLeaks. Everybody wants to jump on board with WikiLeaks. They literally posted our troop travel and location documents. They got American troops killed. And now we have Americans swearing by everything they say about Hillary. I mean, whatever. If it's all true, I can't stand Hillary either. But you are using the word of people that put our own troops at risk. I mean, come on. What are we doing? This may be, I mean, it may end up being a good thing. Maybe after November 9th, everybody sits down and wakes the hell up. I don't know. That I would love that. But to sit there and look at WikiLeaks as a source of deciding an election, they are driving the election. Both sides, they're driving it. And you push it to another side. Trump is into Soros for $650 million. Yet everybody says Hillary is the Soros candidate. Really? They're both the Soros candidate. It's all uniparty. Everybody is in it together. We're in it together to win it. That's what it is. It all needs to stop. People need to wake up and they need to realize that the uniparty is not in it for us. They're in it for themselves. And it's time to end it. And I'm starting to sound like Alex Jones. Where's my tinfoil?
All right, so we really do need to take a break, folks. We're going to have to take a really quick break. Now, before we do take a break, Dan, we have another comment from the Trumpkin Gallery. Oh, come on, Dan. You know that that's not true. There's no way that George Soros, that Trump owes George Soros any money. That's just another lie from the mainstream media. You dang cuck, you. We'll be right back here in just a couple of minutes, folks. Don't go away. You're listening to Robinson and Wright right here on KLRN Radio. We'll be right back.
1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
All writers are prone to becoming so attached to our characters and stories that we struggle to see why a passage may not be working. It takes another set of eyes to help us nurture our writing to full maturity. At Black Wolf Editorial Services, we strive to enable writers to develop and grow, shaping stories into masterpieces that can stand the test of time. Editing services are provided for all genres and all age categories. Services range from critiques of the short story through to the line edits of the full-length novel and copy editing for those preparing for publication. We also offer assistance on generating a writer's bio for your websites, as well as help with those book blurbs and promotional material. We won't abandon you to the masses. We want to celebrate with you and your successes. Black Wolf Editorial Services, nurturing your writing into maturity. For a full list of services and prices, visit us at blackwolfeditorial.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control over your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. Tax Mediation Services is accredited by the Better Business Bureau. Call now for a free case review and a price protection guaranteed quote.
Call Tax Mediation Services now at 800-610-9050. That's 800-610-9050. 800-610-9050.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
All right, folks, we are back. We are live. This is Robinson and Wright coming to you on KLNR Radio DB, also known as KLNRradio.com, and we have been spending the majority of the show so far talking about the craziness that is 2016. Now, we're going to change topics here for a second. Dan, I think, wants to give a shout-out to somebody that made our Friday a little more entertaining.
Oh, yeah. I just want to say hi to Donna. She's awesome. Would love to have her on our next roundtable. I don't have my computer up, so I can't see the chat room, but apparently she's blowing up the chat room. And if you want to follow her on Twitter, she's at Life Without PB. You can follow.
Actually, we have followed each other for a while now. We just haven't really interacted much. But yeah, so far, I gotta say, just the one comment in the Spreaker chat was enough to kind of make my night. So thanks, Donna. That was awesome. All right, so now, before we went to break, of course, we were talking about the craziness that is 2016. I want to fast forward just a little bit. What are your plans come mid-January if Hillary Clinton is the president of the United States?
What are my plans?
Yep.
Just keep doing what I do. To be honest, I mean, to listen to people like Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh and Mark Levin, it's definitely the world's going to end, everything I do, and work on 2018 and 2020. I mean, is the world really going to end? No, it's not. To be honest with you, as much as I can't stand her. And the thought now, after all of this, of her being president and what we could have had and don't have now, it really sucks. She's more moderate than Obama. So, who knows? I mean, it can't be any worse than what we've had for the last 8 years. It really can't. Will I vote for her? No. Do I want her in the White House? No. Will it be devastating? Probably not. It probably really won't be. I mean, to be honest with you, the nominee has been destroying the down ballot more than she has. So, if anything, if we lose the down ballot, I'll blame him, not her. I mean, really, I live in North Carolina. We don't have gun registries. North Carolina, pretty much like Wyoming and a few other states, will not abide by federal gun laws. So I don't worry about my Second Amendment. I mean, really, it is what it is. She gets in 4 years, can take her out if the attitude is right. I'm just looking forward to having Thanksgiving dinner with my Trump-supporting mom and my liberal brother with the whole election behind us so we don't talk politics.
Oh, that will be an interesting Thanksgiving dinner this year. Well, no, I guess actually by then it would be over, huh? Never mind, my bad. So
yeah, it'll be over. That's what I'm saying. I thank God the election is before Thanksgiving. So when Thanksgiving comes around, we'll have a president-elect, and we'll all leave it alone. I mean, I have a liberal brother who can't stand Hillary Clinton. To be honest, he told me straight up, y'all get Marco Rubio in there, I'm voting for him. Where are we now?
So much for Trump was the only one that could pull any liberals.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, my plans right now, I'm within the last year, the wife and I have bought a house out in the country. No matter which one of them gets into the White House, I plan on building a wall of my own. And if things go too crazy, I'm just going to stockpile food, ammo, and build my own country right here in the middle of my former state.
I'm on my way.
Ricktopia,
I'll bring ammo, guns, and food.
Ricktopia, population 8 unless Cracker gets here. Oh man, but no, I mean, look, I mean, we could make fun of this, we could talk bad about it, we could make jokes about it, but the simple fact of the matter is, folks, we're in a mess, and we didn't even need to be in this mess. This is one of the points that I tried to make to someone over and over again today. The simple fact of the matter is, we could have put up Mr. Potato Head, and Mr. Potato Head would have beat Hillary Clinton. We have decided, and I say we because up until around March, I was a Republican. I've been a Republican my entire life until this year. That should tell you something. But we could have put up anyone but the guy that we decided to put up, and anyone could have walked away with this. And the thing about it is, you keep, well, Romney was Mr. Milk and Cookies, and he couldn't beat Obama. That's true. But Obama didn't have nearly the unfavorable ratings that Hillary Clinton does. If it was Romney versus Hillary Clinton today, Romney would have cleaned our clock. If it was Romney versus Hillary Clinton in 2012, he probably would have cleaned her clock. But it wasn't his time. And part of it was a calculation that he made that was wrong. And I know this from the people that were actually running his campaign, because they had President Obama caught in a lie at the end of that second debate, and they knew it, and they chose not to use it because they decided they wanted to take the high road. And they paid the ultimate price for it. Now, whether that was something that was worked out behind the scenes, or whether it was just the way the chips fell, I don't know. But from seeing what I've seen this election cycle, it wouldn't surprise me if there was a backroom deal made then either. The simple fact of the matter is, we need to break this two-party stranglehold. It really is that simple. As long as we continue to maintain this Pavlovian reaction to our elections, they are going to be the ones who win, not us. Because this would have been the one and only year, I think, in my lifetime that a third-party candidate might have actually managed to get into the White House. Because if you take everyone that hates both of them and you lump them into the same basket, that's about 60-40 opposed. If 60% of the American population could have gotten behind one singular candidate other than these two, we would have that person in the White House in November. But we couldn't do it. And you know why we couldn't do it? Because we've been conditioned to think that the third-party vote is a waste of your vote. The voting third party is pointless. The only two parties that matter are the Republican and the Democratic Party. The rest of the parties are jokes. They're all shams. They're crazy. Unfortunately, anytime one of them manages to get a little bit of attention, they help reinforce that very same thing, a la Gary Johnson and not seeming to know what Aleppo was or confusing it with a brand of dog food. But the simple fact of the matter is, if, one, the Libertarians would have put up Austin Peterson, like a lot of us said over and over again, that they should have done both before, during, and after, this probably would have been a completely different cycle. If Evan McMullin, or what is it, Evan McMullin?
Evan McMullin, yep.
I always confuse it because I see everybody hashtagging him as Egg McMuffin. So, like, half the time.
That you see alt-right and Trump supporters doing that.
Well, yeah,
I mean,
know.
I'm not an Evan McMullin fan. I'm not. But, at this point, hey, you know what? He's on at least, I think, in North Carolina, the write-in ballot. I'm not going to vote for either one of the other two. Hey, he might be able to keep them both from 270. I don't know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do. The only thing I've decided that I'm not going to vote for either one of them. That's all I've decided. I mean, it's the whole thing. You brought up Austin Peterson. I'm a huge Austin Peterson fan. I really am. I really like the guy. Theo dropped out, and then after Cruz dropped out, and I was watching his Facebook video posts every weekend where he would go on and he would do a live interactive Facebook chat. It was nothing but Rubio and Cruz supporters coming in. Boom. I mean, it was growing and growing and growing. He would have the percentage to be on that debate stage. And I'm not going to say he would have won. I'm not going to say he would have won, but I'm going to tell you something. He would have gained a lot of support, and he would have owned both of them in the debate because he doesn't have any dirt on him. They are both about dirt. The man does not have any dirt on him. He would have gone in there, and he would have owned that debate stage. He would have debated policies while those two argued over who is the worst candidate. It would have been fantastic. The Libertarian Party screwed it up. They got on the ballot in all 50 states plus Puerto Rico, and they screwed it up. Absolutely screwed it up.
No, I mean, pretty much exactly. All right, well, believe it or not, we're already starting to wound down to the bottom of the hour. Is there anything else you want to touch on the way out the door?
No, we're just screwed. That's all.
And Dan closes the show with a fortune cookie. No, I'm just playing. All right, so just a couple things to kind of go over. Again, look, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to vote. I may get in some pretty heated discussions on social media when I'm trying to basically discuss something with people, and I may stick to my guns, but the simple fact of the matter is, look, I don't care if you are a Trump supporter as long as you're not one of the Trump supporters that's going to threaten to put me in an oven or throw me under a bus. Those Trump supporters I've had quite enough of. If you are a Hillary Clinton supporter and you can maintain civility, I really don't care. I do not block people unless I absolutely have to. I will interact and converse with everyone because the simple fact of the matter is, yes, I am conservative, but I do believe that we need to try to keep things as close to the center as possible because that's the only way anything's ever going to work. it reminds me, and I know I've mentioned this on the show before, but I believe it's an Indian proverb. My great-grandfather told me it was once when I was a little kid. I'm not sure if it actually is or not, but it's an old saying of whether it's the right wing or the left wing, it's all part of the same bird. So if we go too far one direction or too far the other, all we really start doing is turning in circles. And that is something that we need to focus on. Because look, the simple fact of the matter is, even like I'm doing right now, when I talk about Hillary Clinton and I talk about Donald Trump, and I tell you to strip away all the emotion and just look at the facts of the things that are being presented. Don't think about them as, well, 50% of these things may or may not be true. Just look at what's being presented. You know in your heart whether something is believable. If you don't believe me, then go back and look at all the stories that started coming out about Bill Cosby and look at your initial reaction when those things started coming out. Because I guarantee you, if you put all the emotion aside and you started looking at the snowball effect that all those stories had, you knew that there was something there. If you will put the emotion aside and actually look at everything and just look at the facts that are being presented, you can find your own answer. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm telling you the truth is there. But the problem is with our media, the way it is today, and we've been talking about this all night, you have to find your own truth. And I don't mean your own truth as in the sky's purple. I mean your own truth as in the truth is there, but now you have to be the one to go find it. No matter what the bias is, no matter what the slant is, no matter what the money-making angle is, the truth is still in there somewhere. And I will tell you this with 1,000% certainty. Donald Trump is a weasel. Hillary Clinton is a troll, and neither one of them deserve to be president.
Amen.
And on that note, folks, believe it or not, we are officially out of time. So, Dan, as we do every night when we close, why don't you remind folks where it is they can hang out with you when you're not on the radio hanging out with me?
You can find me on Twitter at 1911G_fan. And that's pretty much it. My Facebook is private, and I keep it that way, and I really don't even monitor it because Facebook is Facebook.
Facebook's for old people. All right, folks, and I am AOTR_host on Twitter. It is the quickest, easiest way to keep up with me if you want to hang out. You can, however, because I am an old people, go find my Facebook page if you want. I have a professional one. You can go to www.facebook.com/Rowdy Ricky Robinson. There is another one that I do keep private. You are only going to know that if you actually happen to be a friend or family member. You can also go to one of my radio shows' Facebook page. That is America Off the Rails. You can find that on Facebook. We also have one that I don't give out very often. It's one of the original show pages. It's Common Ground. It's actually run by a group of moderators. I'm really not over there that much anymore because I've been too focused on the radio stuff, but it is also one of the more highly rated following pages that we have, so I do encourage you to maybe go check that one out, especially if you are more middle-of-the-road politics, because we have liberal posters over there as well as conservatives. It does get interesting from time to time, depending on which one of the groups gets on a bender faster, because there'll be like 1 or 2 posts from one side, then 12 from the other, and you see people come in and leave. It's just kind of funny. But anyway.
But hey, I'm real happy to know that I'm a friend or family member.
Well, that would be the truth, isn't it? I mean, dude, I just extended you the invitation to come be part of Ricktopia if it ever comes to that, so that should have told you something. All right, folks, we are out. Have a great night. This has been Robinson Wright. We'll be back with you live again next Friday night. And, of course, I will be back with you tomorrow morning on Finding Common Ground. And then, of course, I'll be back with you Monday morning on America Off the Rails. And, yes, don't remind me. I know I'm a workaholic. It's been 43 years since my last meeting. We're out. Have a good night. Take care.